Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're checking out one of my knife designs that never happened. So what I have here is my knife design in two different versions here. All right, we have a carbon fiber scales version and a G10 scale version. All right, so this knife is something that I designed because it was a cool throwback to a lot of 80s style knives, very Mall Ninja-y. But I wanted to make kind of a modern version of it. I thought it was pretty neat. So in the background here, we have another knife that this is loosely based after. This is a knife that I grew up with. I got when I was, God, like 12 or 13 years old, and I loved it. I've had many versions of this knife over the years. I'm sure you guys have seen these. If not, you know, pictures online, maybe you saw it at like a flea market once or a garage sale or something. I mean, these things were everywhere back in the 80s and the 90s. It was originally, I think the very first version of this knife was an 80s Maxim. It was the MX45. But I ended up getting one of these on eBay at some point because I just wanted it back in the collection because it was a blast from my past, my childhood. All right, and here it is. All right, so you can see we have a nail nick, a little lock back. All right, locks up. Okay, there's a tiny bit of side-to-side play there, but actually the more I wiggled it, the tighter it got. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the concept. We have a large guard here, all right, and which creates a nice finger choil with this kind of sub-hilt, I guess you would say, even though this is a folder. Usually you say that on a fixed blade. But it's actually very comfortable. It's very, very comfortable to hold and use. And it's just cool looking. I mean, like I said, this is a total blast from my childhood. So I had this knife in mind when I designed this knife. All right, so you can see, I mean, obviously it's similar in a lot of ways. The biggest design cue is having that guard, that large guard here, and the kind of sub-hilt or finger choil to create a very comfortable finger choil. And this is obviously even more comfortable to me. I didn't think it was necessary to have the other, you know, finger choils in there because that's specific to a certain hand size. But I did want this to flare out at the bottom and be rounded as opposed to squared off. All right, so the military style version of this, like, you know, your hands really locked in, that flat bottom is like a hammer. You can crush skulls and stab your enemies and who knows what other G.I. Joe stuff you're thinking about when you're buying a knife like that. But and you see right in the blade there, stainless Pakistan. That's right, a lot of these were made in Pakistan, made in China. Just a total gimmick, but you know, if you were cool, you had one. That's just how it went. But yeah, you guys know I love the got something on my pinky here. There's a piece of paint from that knife. that's the quality of that knife. The paint's coming off already. I never even used it. So yeah, I've always loved this Texas toothpick style bottom. You guys saw way back in the day when I had a knife made by Mike Gavco. If you guys remember Gavco, he's still kicking, by the way. If you're miss him from YouTube, he's all over Instagram. You gotta check out his stuff. He's making some amazing stuff. But anyway, I had a fixed blade made, and same deal. It had that kind of swoop on the end. I just always loved that. I love the way that looks. I love the way it feels. A lot of times with knives, sometimes when you have that hot spot, if it's not a pocket clip, more than likely it's the base of the knife. It's just digging in your hand. But this swooping away, it's good for any size hand. It becomes a comfortable design, and also doesn't let the hand ride down. All right, so a nice place for your pinky to kind of just hang out. But anyway, yeah, I mean, this was a prototype. Both these are prototypes. Again, I wanted G10. The manufacturer also wanted to see what it'd be like in carbon fiber. The carbon fiber is cool too. No issue with it at all. Just a different look. It is smoother, obviously. Still feels good in the hand, but I think I do prefer the G10 for this one. But yeah, so it's a very simple design, simple pocket clip on these guys. I wanted something that was just small, so it, again, wouldn't create a huge hotspot or anything. This actually does not create a hotspot at all. Because of the location here, it's in this part of the palm. A lot of times you get hotspots when they're down here, down towards the base of the palm. That's where things start rubbing and getting uncomfortable, especially as you're cutting. The base that's moving around, but this is, you know, centered. It's a little bit lower on this knife, so obviously if you had this clipped to the pocket, it's definitely not deep conceal or anything. This is pretty much what's showing here. But yeah, that was the overall design. It's basically the scales here. You could see the frame puffs out a little bit, but the frame wasn't actually to the end. Now, if these were going to go into production, I did want the frame or the liners, I should say, on this, to be the exact shape. All right, so you have that full strength. Now, it would be extremely rare for something to really pinch this, and even if I pinch this super, super hard, I can't get this to bend. It's a thick piece of G10, but I still wanted the liners to match that perfectly for strength, just because. And yeah, just nice lock back. These lock up wonderfully. These were done in, I want to say that the prototypes were D2, just because it's easy to use for the prototypes, but originally it was going to get them done in S35VN. So here's a shot of the back side of these guys. All right, you can see even on these prototypes they have kind of a decorative pivot. But yeah, the reason these never became a reality is because I was working on this project right before the pandemic hit. And the company that I was working on this project with, you know, they just didn't have the availability to materials. You know, everything was going on with China, and, you know, things are going on with China now. It makes it a little bit more difficult. But it just fell through. That was it. I mean, the project just, it was really getting close to being released and finalized and, you know, production version made, and then literally the pandemic hit. I mean, this was 2020, like I want to say February, early February. That's like when everything went down, right? So unfortunately, it just didn't happen. I mean, it's kind of on the back burner, I suppose. I've reached out to the company since, but you know, it's crickets. So I don't know if they just lost interest or what. But yeah, I mean, that's just, it's kind of unfortunate. But I'll have these, and you know, my collection anyway. These are one of ones. That's it. It's the only version of these. But I just wanted to share with you guys because I thought it was kind of cool. I thought this would be a fun thing to release. Again, totally for the you know, I would say seasoned knife collector. If you're older and you grow up with stuff like this, that's obviously this would appeal to you. That's why I wanted to do this, because it was an homage to this. All right. So, but more comfortable, more modern, something that actually worked, locked up nice, you know, and was, you know, way more capable of actually being used. But yeah, unfortunately it just didn't work out, and that's okay. I actually have another knife design that I may show in the future. That's another folder that didn't work out, not because of timing with the pandemic, but just because I decided in the end, after I got the prototype, I'm like, I just don't like it. You know, like it was my idea, and I drew it out, and I really thought about it and stuff, but once I got it in my hand, I went, nah, I just don't want to make this knife. You know what I mean? So, you know, maybe we'll talk about that one in the future. But anyway, that's it for now. Just wanted to share this with you guys. I wanted this to see the light of day, so someone besides myself and the couple people I was working with on the project would be able to finally see this. It's kind of cool, you know, and hey, if someone else wants to rip off the design, by all means, you know, I don't make knives to make money, you know what I mean? I'm not a knife designer or knife maker or anything. I just come up with this stuff because I think it's fun. It's a novelty to me. But if someone out there actually makes this knife, I think that'd be cool. I'd buy one. Obviously, I like it. So yeah, you guys let me know what you think. Like I said, it's total 80s throwback thing. I mean, it would appeal to a smaller group of people, I would say that. It's not like everyone would want this. But I think it's different, it's cool, it's fun. And that's what it was all about, just being kind of fun and being a little bit of a throwback. So that's all. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Let me know what you think. And I will see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video. Take it easy.